Chemicals in makeup today are a problem, right? Products are filled with all manner of toxins like parabens and phthalates and even formaldehyde. Yeah, because we want corpse preservatives in our foundation. No thank you. But it's part of the reason why people are pushing for more natural and vegan alternatives. Better for the skin and better for the environment. But even with the crap we have in makeup today, I mean, at least your favorite influencer isn't suggesting you ingest arsenic or strive for the pallor of a tuberculosis patient on the verge of certain death, or telling you to squirt lemon juice in your eye to make them appear cleaner and brighter. Not like those wacky Victorians anyway. So today we're discussing the dangers hiding in Victorian era beauty routines. But first, welcome back to Creepy Cassetti, your place for horror in reality and beyond. I am your host Dee, and if this sort of content is fascinating to you, please hit that like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell so you'll know every time I drop another video. And if you know someone who might also find this video fascinating, please feel free to share. It really helps the channel, and I want to give a huge thank you to all of my subscribers, all 283 as of today. Thank you so much. I love you so much. My creepy cassettes are the best of the best. Now back to the video. The Victorian beauty standard. The Victorians' idea of beauty was a pale, almost translucent complexion, dark eyes and eyebrows, with rosy cheeks and lips. Think the depiction of the English rose, like this. So women did what they could to naturally take on such an appearance. Women who adhered to the natural beauty archetype were considered wholesome and virtuous. Makeup was considered scandalous to the Victorian ideals, and sex workers and actresses wore what people called the painted look. Very obvious makeup was risque and indicative of a woman who wanted to be beautiful and had no qualms about using makeup to get there. Victorian women used hats, gloves, and parasols to keep themselves out of direct sunlight. Darker skin was considered low class, as high class people could afford to stay out of the sun, not having to work outside for their living. They also walked for rosy cheeks, woke up earlier for brighter lips, and ate a light diet to reduce the appearance of pimples and keep the waistline slim. Activities that were discouraged when it came to naturally maintaining the look were things like laziness and novel reading or card playing. I don't see the correlation, but whatevs. But when natural intervention only went so far, people used makeup to enhance their appearance. But this was frowned upon during the Victorian era by both men and women. Queen Victoria herself thought the use of makeup was impolite of a high society woman and reserved for actors and ladies of the night. Not that it stopped upper and middle class women from partaking in their daily grooming rituals, it's just that they hid it. Upper class ladies had a secret compartment in what they called the toileting table, while middle class women hid their jars or potions behind other vials in their medicine cabinets. Upper society women would send their servants to the store to pick up their makeup, or did well to hide it in the event that they had to do so themselves, while lower and middle class ladies created a lot of the makeup they used with products found around the house, such as using soot and wax to create mascara, or using crushed up carmine beetles to create the red pigment for lips, or beetroot, which sounds way less gross than bugs. Toxic beauty. Much like beauty influencers of our time, ladies had a magazine column to look into for the latest trends and advise how to enhance their appearance. A popular beauty influencer at the time was Mrs. S.D. Powers. She ran a column in Harper's Bazaar called The Ugly Girl Papers, or Hints for the Toilet. Some of the advice she gave included telling ladies to cover their face in an opium paste overnight and rinse it off with a brisk splash of ammonia. She even suggested women use mercury as an eye cream. So what poisons made their way to the Victorian vanity? Well, let's start with arsenic. Arsenic has the ability to lighten the complexion. Arsenic was everywhere in all kinds of home and grooming products and even some medicines. In small doses, the chemical can be tolerated by the body and still provide the desired effect. It was so easily accessible that some Victorian murderesses used it as their method of poisoning, like Mary Ann Cotton, who killed 6 husbands by poisoning as well as 8 of her children. Also, if you'd like to hear a video about Mary Ann Cotton, here's your opportunity to let me know in the comments below. Yes, at this time, they were well aware of the dangers of arsenic. Arsenic is a metalloid and is known to cause damage to the nervous system. system, kidney damage, hair loss, conjunctivitis, growths called arsenical keratosis along the body, and vitiligo. Even though the Victorians were well aware of the dangers of arsenic, it didn't stop them from creating lotions, soaps, pills, powders, and even wafers containing the harmful ingredient. These wafers were small and chalky, meant to be taken in small doses throughout the day. Continued use of the poison became addictive. But get this, these arsenic wafers were advertised as perfectly harmless. They contained just enough arsenic to provide complexion effects without inducing death. Some women choose to take arsenic baths instead, which, while it may have been irritating to the skin, it could be even more irritating to the lungs if a lot of the chemical was being used and inhaled by the steam of a hot bath. Breathing in the bath fumes could cause pharyngitis and lung cancer. Scottish agricultural chemist James E.W. Johnston discussed how Styrian and Lower Austrian peasants bathed in arsenic springs to improve figure and complexion in his 1855 book, The Chemistry of Common Life, which made arsenic baths even more popular. They were also using arsenic depilatories for hair removal. It was usually in conjunction with other chemicals such as quicklime and alkaline lye. The concoction was boiled together, placed on the area, and left there for 10 minutes and then removed. Mrs. S.T. Powers again even suggested that a rigorous ammonia wash could be used to remove hair. Now let's talk about Victorian pastes and powders. Much like the foundation of today, women use these pastes and powders to camouflage their blemishes, even out the skin tone, and make themselves look as pale as possible. A mild homemade formula might include ingredients like rice powder and zinc oxide. Other more expensive blends contain products like chloride of bismuth and talc, while some products even contain lead flakes, which is highly toxic and easily absorbed by the skin. A common face wash of the time used lead and alum poultice to treat pimples and other skin irregularities. Side effects of lead poisoning were headache, constipation, memory loss, pain, numbness, and in large quantities, it can also cause paralysis and death. To make matters worse, people would use corrosive washes like the ammonia we talked about earlier to rinse the face, remove the powders and the paste. These washes would exacerbate wounds and scarring already caused by the makeup, which only exacerbated a lady's need for more of the product. So it was an endless cycle of cleaning and patching the skin and reapplying the products. What might even be considered worse is that if women were too expressive while wearing these products, it would cause unsightly cracks in the makeup, which of course would give away that the lady was wearing makeup, which would be disastrous for the lady's reputation at the time. Nowadays, when we think eye makeup, we think liner, mascara, maybe a little shadow. In this case, the sought-after look was dilated, clean, and bright eyes. The Victorians would get these effects a few different ways, like squirting citrus fruits or perfumes into their eyes. But on the more dangerous end of the spectrum, they would use belladonna drops. Belladonna, or deadly nightshade, is extremely poisonous if ingested. While use in the eyes would not lead to death, it often led to blindness. All of these eye drops could cause corneal abrasions, blurred vision, and light sensitivity. Surprisingly, belladonna is still used in eye drops by ophthalmologists for infections and certain exams today. Poor diet choices. A light diet was suggested to ladies who wanted to keep a slim frame. A light diet could include a handful of fruits and veggies and maybe a little chicken broth. But I don't know about y'all, that little bit of food would make me highly combative. When controlling the amount of food and the things they ate proved more difficult to some Victorian ladies, there were countless pills and potions available to aid in weight loss. As a matter of fact, diet pills and potions saw a market boom during this time. Oftentimes the supplements included their old buddy arsenic, and in some cases even strychnine. Strychnine is an alkaloid chemical found in the seeds of the Strychnos vomica, a plant that is indigenous to Asia and Australia. It actually used to be used in some medications in low doses. Just some of the many side effects associated with strychnine are painful muscle spasms that can result in injury to liver and kidneys, restlessness, fevers, rigid arms and legs, jaw tightness, muscle pain and soreness, difficulty breathing, and uncontrollable arching of the neck and back. In severe cases, it can cause respiratory failure, brain death, and eventually regular death. The supplements were advised as speeding up the metabolism like an amphetamine would. Sometimes people were not responsible with taking the pills, choosing to take more of the supplements to speed up weight loss, accidentally poisoning themselves in the process. Oftentimes, brands did not include the toxic ingredients on the label. At this time in history, there were no FDA or other countries' equivalent of a regulatory body to keep dangerous chemicals out of products being used in or on the body. In a truly horrifying display that proves that even during the Victorian era, people were willing to make some terrible decisions to lose weight, we have the tapeworm diet. Yes, people, tapeworm diet. Pills were advertised that supposedly contained the eggs of a beef tapeworm. People were encouraged to ingest the pill, allowing the eggs to hatch in the intestines, and the adult tapeworm would be used to absorb the food the dieter consumed. Or that's what they thought anyway. But tapeworms can cause diarrhea and vomiting along with weight loss. Once the person met their desired weight loss goal, they were expected to take an antiparasitic and the body would naturally expel the creatures. One Dr. Myers of Sheffield created another tapeworm removing option that was inventing a special cylindrical device with food inside of it that would be pushed down the digestive tract from the throat. Most patients simply choked to death on the device long before the tapeworm could be lured. While tapeworms are leaving the body, they can cause abdominal and rectal complications. Some tapeworms can grow up to 30 feet in length, which is absolutely insane, and for someone who hates bugs, and especially the parasitic type, just sounds like a bleeding nightmare. In some of the most severe cases, tapeworms can cause headaches, eye problems, meningitis, epilepsy, and dementia. While the majority of the tapeworm supplements were nothing more than a farce, some actually produce the desired effect. If all else fails. And you know, if all else fails and you want to kill two birds with one stone, you could always hang around in the TB ward for a while and intentionally contract a crippling and eventually deadly disease, tuberculosis. But at least you'd be the permanently pale, thin, watery-eyed figure beloved by people of the era. I don't think I need to tell you that doing something like this is a terrible idea. You get the sarcasm, right? Groovy. But just to make sure, please don't take any advice from these Victorian beauty trends. That's all for the video today. Which one of these Victorian beauty trends did you find most surprising? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have any video suggestions, please also let me know. I wish you all the very best, and I will see you all in 2 weeks for another video. Mwah! Take care, guys.